Somebody once said Saturday night's a good day for fighting, but I disagree. I think Friday's a good night to talk about fighting and all the other fun stuff that goes along with it. What is going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning into us here on week number 3 of this humble little voyage that we've got going on, where we'll talk about all things sports, all things pro wrestling, all things in between. First and foremost, let me go ahead and introduce my triad of terror here. We are a short one for the time being, but I will say my first good friend here is a guy who made Julian Edelman run for the hills because he knew he couldn't handle up to the real Edelman standards. He's a horse connoisseur, but not a horse, of course. He is the man, the myth, the legend, the icon, Donald Edelman. What's up, big?
Hey. Oh.
And he's just simple. See how modest he is. I give him, he gets all this hype pride, but instead of, he's not going to elaborate. He's too modest. He's, hey, how you doing? No, it's speaking of how you doing, my Italian brother from another mother, the man who made John Morant's last few initials disappear, and he's the reason John Morant packs guns, because those guns don't compare to the ones this cat has on his fucking arms. We're talking the one and only Guido himself, the only Guido in the state of Kentucky, JV, and I'm not talking junior varsity, and I'm not talking of venereal disease either. I'm talking the one and only Joe Violet. What's up, baby?
What's up, JP?
You know, it's Friday. I just had to fucking do a football broadcast with a guy who, for lack of better term, I don't want to publicly shame this poor fool. So I'll let you do it, Joe. You got to listen to this son of a bitch talk.
I'd rather not get us thrown off the air this quickly.
We're off to a great start, aren't we, Don? We're off to an amazing start here at the program.
Oh, I'm in a giggly mood, I guess. Oh, God.
Hey, we're hitting big on the horse races there before. I'd be giggy, too. I'd be giggly, too, man. You were hitting big on all sorts of horses in them races, so I'd be in a great mood, too.
Yeah.
Well, what are we talking about this week? Just give us a quick spoiler alert. What are some of the many topics that we are going to dissect and redissect and regurgitate here on this fantastic program of ours?
All right, well, we got a merger happening with the WWE and UFC, is it right? Is that what it was?
Absolutely.
Yep. And then last week, first week of the NFL season, was real. A lot of stuff happened. Aaron Rodgers, Lions, showing that they're the real deal. I mean, I'm not saying we're winning the Super Bowl, but we're the real fucking deal. Joe Burrow fucking laid an egg. I mean, I don't know if the Bengals can do that again, but if they can afford to do that again. And then, we got, this upcoming weekend, we got another whole slate of games. 2 Monday Night Football matchups. That doesn't happen. So all that more this episode.
So as my good friend DE put it so succinctly, you're going to want to stay tuned, because we will break this bitch down like no other. We're not your typical radio show where we ham and egg it up and give you some goofy statistics. No, we go the deep dive into all these topics. We're going to do a deep dive, as he said, into the week that was in the NFL, some college football. I'd brag about one, though. I'd kick this off by bragging about my team's winning college football, but homeboy ain't here for me to talk shit to. I can't sit there and talk smack.
No Jamaal today. He's been on vacation all week. I mean, I don't know where he's going, getting high in the mountains, I guess. He's up high in the mountains.
He's getting high on the mountains. He thought high off that Texas Longhorn ass whooping in Alabama. Oh wait, he's a Tennessee fan. My bad. But
I mean, he did say that there is an asterisk beside that win, though.
No, that was Mike Tirico, Joe. You're getting flashbacks again, buddy.
more like PTSD.
Happens every time, just like Nam, right?
We started off by talking about that Mike Tirico stuff. I mean, that number one, that's a big win of the week, man. Detroit goes into Arrowhead and beats Kansas City, beats Patrick Mahomes. Not an easy task at all. It is a difficult thing to do, to go beat Patrick Mahomes in any stadium. To go into Arrowhead in front of a raucous crowd and beat Mahomes. I'm sorry. I don't care if Jones was there. I don't care if Kelsey was there. I don't care if his receivers couldn't catch chlamydia if they banged every prostitute in the city of Memphis. Okay. The bottom line is it's Patrick Mahomes. And we heard this before. Well, Tyreek Hill's going to leave and he's leaving there. He's going to suck. Well, you know what? This guy is a magician out there. He is the best pure passer that I've seen in my lifetime, and I'm sacrilegiously saying that because I'm a Dan Marino big fan, but Patrick Mahomes has made men out of mice so much in his career. Now, granted, this is just proof that Patrick Mahomes is not God Almighty, because you can hit the player in the numbers wide open, so wide open that one of the three of us could have walked barefoot into the end zone. You can't guarantee they're going to catch it. There is no asterisk, okay? The Lions did what they had to do. St. Brown is a beast, okay? Their defense is solid. Hutchinson is going to be an all-world player. Mark my words, this guy will lead the NFL in sacks sooner rather than later one year, okay? They've got everything you could possibly ask for as a team. That's not a fluke.
And a head coach. And a head coach that the whole team believes in and follows. And really the whole city. I mean, the whole city believes in this guy. And the owner, too, Brad Holmes. We finally got an owner, or he's a general manager, I guess, not owner, but he's a general manager who can draft some fucking players. All four of our first 4 draft picks this last draft, all 4 came in the game and made such an impact on the outcome of that game. Brian Branch, what a first game for Brian Branch, a pick 6. Now I know Kadarius Toney couldn't catch COVID if he was in a Wuhan lab, okay? I understand that. I know he tipped it up in the air. Brian Branch got the luckiest pick 6 of his life, but he still caught it and turned it back, so I don't give a fuck. Jahmyr Gibbs, I mean, we didn't see a lot of him, but when he had the ball in his hands, he looked like he could go 80 yards in a blink of an eye that fast.
You mentioned the Brian Branch pick 6. What about that call from Chris Collinsworth? That was a perfect throw that unfortunately ends in an interception.
I thought it was I don't know, perfect because it was an interception, but he couldn't have put it much in a better spot. I mean, I don't
put it right in the fucking numbers. He put it right in the numbers.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know how much more perfect of a throw you can make, Joe. He hit him right where it's supposed to be.
Simple. Tony catches it and gets the touchdown.
Yeah, but this doesn't make it not a perfect throw by Mahomes.
No, I'm saying that was a poor choice. No, I'm saying that was a poor choice of words on Collinsworth's part.
No,
you just don't like Collinsworth.
Chris Collinsworth. Well, there's a shocking development. Chris Collinsworth talking out of his ass. There's a shocking development.
Chris Collinsworth just saying some bullshit, and people are like, "Yeah, sounds good to me."
See, I'm not the only one who believes this.
Well, I mean, another night in the office.
No, I'm not saying Chris Collinsworth. I mean, he nauseates me at times, but I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna watch a primetime game, it's probably gonna be Chris Collinsworth or somebody like that.
To me, what made that Lions win all the sweeter? How many snaps was Jawan Taylor not where he was supposed to be?
Oh, he was cheating his ass off the entire fucking game. Aiden Hutchinson, I promise, if Jawan Taylor was lining up where he was supposed to be, Aiden Hutchinson has at least 3 sacks probably, because Jawan Taylor could not handle that man at all.
Oh, hell no.
I know Mahomes is elusive and he got rid of the ball most of the time before he got sacked, but he wouldn't have been able to help it at some of these points if he wouldn't cheat his ass off.
I mean, speaking of Collinsworth, it's bad when even Collinsworth is questioning whether or not the formation is legal.
I mean, Collinsworth, he wasn't even questioning it. He said he's playing slot receiver. He's not even close.
I'm looking something up here. Do you guys realize St. Brown was picked in the 4th fucking round?
Yeah, there was I think 13 receivers taken before him.
I'll tell you exactly. Well, I'll tell you the exacts here that were picked in front of him. I was stunned because maybe I'm having a Mandela moment. I swore St. Brown was picked higher than that. But you look at the receivers that were picked ahead of him. All right, just right now. I'll just look at that receiving class. And I can't argue some of these. Okay, Jamar Chase, that was the no arguing that pick. Jalen Waddle, no arguing that pick. Okay, and I'm not saying this is a Dolphins fan. Devonta Smith, I can't argue that pick. He looked great yesterday. He's looked really good. Here's one. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. It's interlinked. You know who the 4th wide receiver picked in that draft class was?
Kadarius Toney.
Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
I couldn't catch
Kadarius Toney out of Florida. Yeah.
Kadarius Toney. I couldn't catch AIDS if I sucked Magic Johnson's dick. Tony. Yeah, that guy. He was picked ahead. He was picked ahead of fucking St. Brown. Rashad Bateman was picked ahead of St. Brown. Bateman's buried so far in the Ravens bench that he ain't ever going to see the light of day.
I think it was Nico Collins one. I think Nico Collins out of Michigan.
Nico Collins, we'll look that up. Nico Collins was picked in the 3rd round, 89. Anthony Schwartz of the Browns. Amari Rodgers of the Packers. Dynami Brown to the Commanders. Josh Palmer. Tutu Atwell, which he looked good last week. Chargers, yep. Terrace Marshall of LSU. He went to the Panthers. Dwayne Eskridge. Rondale Moore, Elijah Moore. There's a lot of teams that missed a bag. Des Fitzpatrick, who is now 5th string and their 6th string receiver on the Steelers. This guy went, I'm not lying to you, this guy went in the same round as Jacob Harris, who is getting ready to sign a contract in the Canadian Football League. Like, this team unearthed a gem. And the thing is, here's the thing: is they don't just look at. That's the same thing with Branch, right? Everybody was looking at Branch. Well, he's not really a quarterback. He's a safety, and that's not premium. I don't give a shit if it's
he plays both. He plays both. That's the good thing about him. He can play both. He can play slot corner or safety. Yeah, he should have been a first round pick. I don't know. If you look back,
they strike out with strike like this.
If you look back at some of Brad Holmes' draft picks since he's been there, Brad Holmes, he's drafted Penei Sewell, Pro Bowler, Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, he's going to be a Pro Bowler, All Pro. He's going to be everything. Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Jesus Christ. Oh, another offensive lineman. I can't remember who it was. Another one of our offensive linemen, Malcolm Rodriguez. He had obviously Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell, too, by the way. You never heard his name at all during that game on Thursday. He was there the entire game.
Nope.
He was stuffing the run the entire game, and you never heard his name. And then he had that one pass breakup where a linebacker usually does not make that play. I don't know. A linebacker usually doesn't make that play, that diving tip or whatever. That was insane. As soon as I saw it was Jack Campbell, I was like, what the hell? And Sam Laporta, I usually, there's a stigma with Lions drafting tight ends pretty early in the draft, and they've all been dog shit, okay? The only one that was semi-decent that we've drafted in the last 10 years that was almost okay was Eric Ebron, and where is he now? You know what I mean? I don't know. He was good for like 2 years and then dipped. And TJ Hawkinson, too. We had TJ Hawkinson. Drafted him.
I was just going to say, Hawkinson was good. Hawkinson, he just needed.
Yeah, so we had TJ Hawkinson, but he wanted too much money. I understand. But Sam Laporta, though, he looks like that guy. I don't know. He looks pretty good.
Well, speaking of Hawkinson, he had a heck of a game last night, too.
Yes, Hawkinson actually looked very nice last night. He looked like the only motherfucker besides Justin Jefferson who really wanted to be on the fucking field. I don't know. Like, everybody else looked like they didn't want to be there.
Jordan Addison had his 3 catches and then said, fuck it, I have my stats. I don't give a shit.
Jordan Addison got a touchdown. He got a touchdown, got a few catches, and he's like, I bet. And that was it.
He did. That's the big problem. That's why he wasn't a first-round pick. He did that shit at USC. He did that shit at Pitt. He'd get his stats, and he said, to hell with it. That's like, people don't want stat whores, okay? They don't want people that put up the dirty stats. They want people that are going to win the game. They're determined to win the game, whether you have 15 yards receiving or 150.
Now, I do.
And that's what
I was going to say. That's what Justin Jefferson does. I really respect the fuck out of him because he, especially when he fumbled and had the touchback, he looked really upset about it. And I'm sure he was pretty upset about it because it's really unfortunate. Even to fumble and the ball goes over the pylon and then they call it a touchback. That is really unfortunate anyways. But then he pats himself on the chest saying it's my bad and we got this shit. Like, let's go get it. And I trust Justin Jefferson. If he's saying let's go get it, I fucking fully behind him. If Jordan Addison, one, he's a rookie, but two, it's like, all right, you've already scored your touchdown. And the thing with Jordan Addison, he's so good. Like, he could be insane. Like, he's so good. He has so much talent and I don't know if he really wants it that bad. I don't know. He doesn't seem like he has it in him like that.
He doesn't have that dog. And I'm going to tell you right now, the great receivers, the great players in this game have that dog. Like we mentioned before, he screws up. He takes it personal. Like dogs, they take it personal to where, and not that it affects their quality of play the rest of the game, but they take it personal to where they say, look, I'm not going to make that mistake again. You'll never see that happen from me.
Yeah, I mean,
Tyreek is that way, and Joe, you can vouch for it. I was very against Tyreek going to the Dolphins. I was against off the field shit that happened with Tyreek, but he's that dog. Brown is that dog. Okay, AJ Brown is that dog when he's not hurt. Devontae Smith is that dog. Chase is that dog. I mean, it's not even the stats. The stats don't tell the full stories. Watch Justin Jefferson lay an inline block. Watch St. Brown go and lay the lumber to somebody. He will lay a block. If that means losing yards, he doesn't care if he gets those yards. That's what I like St. Brown. I liked him in college, too. He will lay the timely block on people if it extends the play. He's not afraid to mix it up. He will give up. He will sacrifice yardage and stats for his, the team's good. Go ahead.
Did you guys watch the 49ers versus Steelers game? Or did you see the highlights?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so Christian McCaffrey had like a big, long touchdown run, and the two people lead blocking for him. Did you see who it was?
Oh, yeah. One of them was Brandon Ayuk.
It was Brandon Ayuk. Debo Samuel hit like a cut block, and then George Kittle. This was literally George Kittle, Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and Christian McCaffrey running behind all three of them. Like that. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're all saying the 49ers are going to be so good. But Brandon Ayuk, man, I don't know. He had a hell of a week. 2 touchdown catches. What was like 160 yards, 150 yards. He had a hell of a fantasy week too.
And that timely block. I mean, this is Sports 101, ladies and gentlemen. So here's a little lesson for you. It's not just about catches and and yardage and touchdowns. It's also about the little intangibles, like we just mentioned, with them having that dog.
Yeah, I mean, without Brandon Ayuk getting that block, Christian McCaffrey doesn't score the touchdown. So, I mean, it's little things like that. And I'm not saying they probably wouldn't have still at least scored a field goal, but, a fucking 70-yard touchdown run's a whole lot better than settling for 3 at the very least. So,
you're right.
And all you have to do is just run and make sure a safety doesn't crush your best player. I'm probably
who else has that dog? Oh, he is our best player. Christian McCaffrey is one of the top, talent when he's healthy. He's one of the top 5 players in the National Football League, bar none, any position. But, that's the big thing is durability. But you know who else has that dog, though, for the 49ers? Brock Purdy.
Oh, Big Cock Brock.
Purdy didn't have 115. Big Cock Brock, dude, I could have told you. That guy at Perry High School, he has that. He may not have the it factor in terms of intangibles. And please don't read into this more. I know people go, how dare you compare him to one? I'm not saying he's going to be Tom Brady 2.0, okay? But he's got that moxie to him.
Yeah, he doesn't the swag to him like Tom does. Yeah.
He's got the swag. He's got the swag. He's got the, you know what? You didn't believe in me. Fuck you. I'm going to prove you wrong, okay? The guy wasn't even supposed to start at Perry High School. It was supposed to be the coach's son. And instead of taking it personal and say, look, I have my parents take me out of school and put me somewhere else, he said, no, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to make you regret not starting me. And guess what happened within 3 games? The coach benched his son and moved in the wide receiver because he couldn't. Brock was like, you're not keeping me off this field. Okay. Brock has that swagger. And if Brock doesn't care if he puts up 400 yards or 40 yards, as long as the team wins games, he knows where to put the football. That's what he's got. I'll tell you right now, this man, Brock Purdy, does not have 1/18th of the talent that Trey Lance has. True story. He doesn't have the intangibles, the it factor. He doesn't have the intangibles, or not the intangibles. He has the intangibles. He doesn't have the skills. He doesn't have the size. He is basically the anti-Trey Lance, but he's also everything the 49ers and every team in the league needs because he's not full of his own garbage. He don't buy his clipping.
And Trey Lance is not going to, you're saying that you're talking about believing in their own hype. I don't think Trey Lance is going to prosper in Dallas where, in my opinion, they all believe in their own hype.
We'll talk about Dallas for a little bit because they won 40-0 on Monday Night Football. I'm sure a lot of people turned the fucking game off about the second quarter, maybe the end of the first quarter, because that shit was over. The offense really, I mean, when you win 40-0, you think the offense played pretty well. That's not even what happened. I mean, the defense was just, the defense was that good that it created opportunities for the offense, but I still think Dak Prescott was very. I don't even want to say average. I guess I want to say average because they won 40-0. But didn't he still throw a pick, or did he throw a pick? I can't remember. I'm assuming he threw a pick because it's Dak Prescott. But
bro, I'm telling you right now, that was the shittiest 40-0 offensive outing I've seen. Like offensively, Dak Prescott had 143 yards. They have 1 touchdown, not one.
Yeah.
Not 1 touchdown. He had 6 yards rushing. Okay. Their best offensive player was probably CeeDee Lamb. Okay. He was limited. He had 4 receptions for 77 yards. There was nothing Dallas did that game that would lead you to believe this was a 40-0 ass whooping, other than the fact that Daniel Jones played like Daniel Jones. I mean, he got his money. Now is he going to slink off into the Maryland? I mean, that was more of how bad the Giants played than it was anything Dallas did.
Even Saquon Barkley looked a little lethargic during that game.
He did.
I want to say something too. Mike Dable, man. Why is Daniel Jones playing if you're down like 28-30, so whatever it was, to nothing in the third or fourth quarter? Why is he playing? Get him the hell out. I don't know who your backup is, but Daniel Jones, if you're going to pay him all this money, he better be on the damn field. So, he didn't get hurt, but they're lucky he didn't get hurt because the way that defense was playing, Micah Parsons, Leighton Vander Esch, DeMarcus Lawrence running straight at me, I'm good. You know what I mean? Get me out of there. I'm all right. I'm surprised Daniel Jones didn't ask to be taken out at 30-0 because I would have been like, nah, what? No, I'm good.
To be fair, and I get your perspective. I'm right with you. But when they gave this man an $82 million guaranteed contract. You give him $40 million a year, 82 of it guaranteed. The last thing you're going to want to see is, listen, park me on the bench so we can put Tyrod Taylor in. I mean, if you see Tyrod Taylor trucking out there, it's not a good situation for the Giants. Either Jones sucks or he's hurt. And that was the benefit, and that was the problem with his contract. I think they overpaid Jones. I'm sorry. I know Jones looked like he had competency and he looked like a decent NFL quarterback. You're going to sit there and tell me that guy's worth $40 million? I shudder to think what Patrick Mahomes is going to ask for in his next contract.
I mean, it could be worse. You could trade for a 39-year-old quarterback, completely change the makeup of your offensive scheme.
Here we go.
And draft former teammates of his just to see him go down in 4 snaps.
Oh, here we go.
You talk about buyer's remorse. Wow.
Is it even buyer's remorse, though? Here's the problem. You go and get yourself a car that has 375,000 miles on it, okay, that may be okay when you pull it out of the lot, but you've only got the son of a bitch for a limited shelf life. And, oh, by the way, you don't buy the extended warranty with the damn thing, okay? You go out there and you hear that it's got, okay, it may have a head gasket that's blowing. The engine may be cracking, but you could probably get another 50 to 75,000 miles out of it, maybe, and that's driving every day. You might be able to get another 20,000 miles out the damn thing, but as soon as you pull it out the car lot, you get into a fucking accident where it blows out all 4 of the fucking tires. Like, that's what basically happened here. And I blame the Jets for this, because instead of going out and getting all of Aaron Rodgers' best friends and these shiny new toys, they should have upgraded the offensive fucking line.
Yeah.
You're not putting a 39-year-old quarterback that's got 16 years in the league behind a patchwork offensive line. That is a recipe for disaster for any quarterback, let alone a 39-year-old that's at the end of his career.
Hey, did the Jets win?
Yes.
They won.
All right, then. Yeah, they better than Josh Allen and them right now. Cool.
Hell, here nor there, though. I mean, they won. They won, absolutely. But
hey, look, when Tom Brady tore his ACL and Matt Castle went 11-5, all right, let's see what happens.
Yeah, but let's be honest though. Man, when Tom Brady tore his ACL, Tom Brady was a 30-year-old man, not an almost 40-year-old. I mean, the body don't recover when you're 40 years old, like the same way it does.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Dan Marino tore his Achilles, Vinny Testaverde tore his Achilles. There's a lot of people who tore their Achilles and they got back to whatever. I think this is Aaron Rodgers' really biggest injury besides the collarbone, right?
Yep. Okay, boys. We got about 30 seconds left in this session here. Everybody, welcome Jamaal Gardner to the show, everybody. He's been on vacation up in the mountains, but a little late for the show, but, better late than never. You know what I mean? Fashionably late if you want. So that will do it for session number 1, and we'll see you back here for session number 2.
All right, cool.